All right, and we're back once again with the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford from Lakers Fast Break, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, and Pop Culture Cosmos. Thank you so much for being a part of today's program. And he's back again. He dares to come back on the show because he is the man indeed, one of the three great guys from Voice from the Underground. You got to check out his awesome show where they talk pop culture, politics, cigars, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation today at Voice from the Underground, the podcast on Podbean and every single major podcast outlet. It is my good friend and a very happy man indeed after watching 3 straight Lakers wins. It is Mr. TJ Johnson. What's up, my friend?
Oh, I'm living the good life, as Kanye would put it. Lakers won 3 games in a row, so we're now 3-1 going into our game against Charlotte. So yeah, oh no, I'm sorry, going to our game against Dallas. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about my life. Pretty good about my life. How you doing?
Well, Kanye also says a lot of other things, but we won't go there.
Very true.
If Jason Dutch was on this show, like he was doing on my Inside Sports Fantasy Football show, I mean, he'll take a left turn on a tangent row and just, right there for you. And, 40 minutes later, you'll be on you'll be trying to come back into the conversation. But I'm doing well, my friend. I'm doing well. I'm just so happy to see the Lakers in a better place than last time we spoke. There's been a lot of great things that we've seen so far. Some things that obviously need working. Hopefully everybody's gotten a chance to listen to my conversation recently with Laker Tom in regards to what they need to work on with their offense, some things they need to shore up on their defense, their first half focus, things of that nature. Kyle Kuzma's coming back, so that's some great news. I mean, over the weekend, get him integrated into the system. We'd love to see that. Love to see what he can do for the LA Lakers at this point in time. But with you, my friend, I thought I'd touch on some couple major subjects, both with the Lakers and the NBA. And for today's show, I'm going to start off with Mr. AD himself, Anthony Davis, who, especially after the last game, is looking really good. Kind of concerned about the shoulder, as I spoke to Laker Tom about, because that's something of great interest to me, because we've seen this before with him, with these nicks, these injuries, these little just things that keep him down for a game in, game out, 5 games here, 7 games there. Just we've seen this over and over again. But tell you what, when he gets out on the court and we see what he does, because he had that awesome 40-point, 20-rebound game against Memphis. We've seen him perform at a great level so far this season. Is this type of performance and this type of start, could that boost him into a situation where he gets to the head of the line when it comes to the MVP and the MVP conversation?
Yes, I'd agree with you for the first part that you mentioned in regards to his shoulder. That was the one caveat I thought about bringing Anthony Davis on, is that he's just someone who has, in the past, shown himself to not always be able to remain healthy. He just can't seem to stay playing a full season. And we knew, again, Laker fans knew that this rental, if you will, was going to be very, very, very dependent on the Lakers being able to ingratiate him into this system. And because of these injuries that have popped up, it's caused some, for me personally, it's caused some red flags to pop up and be like, hey, all right, now this is what he's done this a couple times. This isn't the first time he's done it. It's his shoulder, it's a shooting shoulder. But if you go out and drop 40 points on your shooting shoulder being sore, I mean, are we really upset about this right now? I think because it's so early in the season, we don't need to hit the panic button quite yet. And obviously, again, he dropped 40 points with that bump shoulder in 30 minutes.
26 out of 27 on the free throw line.
Yeah, so I mean, he did pretty good. If that's him with a bum shoulder, then we need to see him with a healthy shoulder on a consistent basis. But because it's so early in the season, I don't think I'm worried yet. This is probably the time where I would be more apt to rest him and allow that shoulder to just heal up. Right now, you've got a healthy LeBron, you've got a healthy Kyle Kuzma getting ready to come back to the lineup. So I think this will be the point in time where it's like, okay, hey, you know what? We can take this kind of slow. We can take this kind of easy. We're in the very, very beginning. The season is very young. So we don't need to push Anthony Davis right now. see him. So I the competitor of the athlete to stay on court. I just don't know if the good organization right now, if I'm gonna gamble with that shooter, if that makes sense. No, but
I've lost you for the last minute, just to let you know. And it wasn't. This was an internet issue. It looks like internet feed issue, just to let you know. But the rest of it came out clear, just to let you know.
where I cut out at?
I think you said you were concerned about his shoulder, but not to the point where you're going to go ahead and just basically. Oh, and I've lost you. And I've lost TJ Johnson. I've lost TJ Johnson still right here from Lakers Fast Break. There he is. And we're still on the air, just to let you know. This will sound so great in post. This is going to be this like flat line you see in Audacity. It's just going to sit right there. But now I have you clear. You're clear right now. But I could just tell something was dying. This was different. This is just, I can tell when it's an internet diage. So,
Gotcha. Okay.
So that was an internet signal. So,
yeah.
So your final thoughts on AD as far as MVP, him staying consistent, staying healthy. I will tell you that we are starting to see some signs as far as the rest is concerned, because Kawhi is already out, as far as having a rest day already. Should we take that same type of steps already when it comes to Anthony Davis because of that shoulder or any of the injuries that we think he might have starting to accrue when it comes to the nicks and the cuts and the bumps during the course of the season?
When you start throwing around words like load management season, seriously, like if Kobe Bryant run over,
I'm losing you again.
I got full bars.
I don't know why. So weird.
Yeah, I got full bars. I actually never get full bars in this room. I got full bars.
Yeah, but it's just so weird because this is definitely a connection issue. That's so weird. This internet is such a wonderful thing, isn't it?
It can be. But yeah, I see it. It'll go black.
Do I look shaky? Do I look shaky to you?
No, you look to see.
Okay, because you look really jittery to me. That's why. It's all right. Oh, and I lost you again. Well, we'll try to piece a show out of this. I'm telling you, we're going to piece a show out of it. So. Thanks for your patience, everyone. As far as being the Lakers Fast Break podcast, this will hopefully sound a lot better in post. There you go, back once again. I'm telling you, man. I think there's like a hamster in a habit trail just running on this internet, son.
I don't know what's going on, man. I
Well,
have no idea.
before I lose you again, my friend, let's go ahead and I want to hear your final thoughts on AD.
So final thoughts on Anthony Davis. I think we need to be very careful when we talk about things like load management. I know we mentioned Kawhi Leonard getting load management within the first week of the NBA season, second week of the NBA season. I know Kobe Bryant somewhere is just rolling his eyes in the back of his head talking about, I can't believe these guys are talking load management. The truth of the matter is that's the kind of the way the NBA is going. So if we're concerned about his shoulder, then we might want to consider shutting him down for a game or two, allow himself to heal up, especially integrating Kyle Kuzma back into the lineup. It would be beneficial to give his shoulder a chance to rest and to let Kyle Kuzma kind of come in and get some reps. And you still got a healthy LeBron James. You have a healthy rest of the lineup. So you still got some good help in that regard. And if you want to kind of look towards the future, then yeah, you might want to consider resting Anthony Davis. I just, as a Kobe Bryant fan, as a LA Laker fan, I just have a hard time allowing myself to say things like that. Kobe Bryant was never. That's not Kobe. So yes, Anthony Davis, if you got a bum shoulder, go ahead and get a little rest. It's a long season. We got time.
Well, the only reason I say that is because it can accrue more injuries. So come playoff time, you might not even have a 80% Anthony Davis. So that's the only reason why I'm saying. But still, I think he's gotten off to a great start. MVP now, he's right at there at the top of the list. And just things are looking good right now for the Lakers as they head out on the 3-game road trip. I'm looking for a good 3 games. I'm still thinking they'll go 2-1. I think that would be very understandable if that's the case. Laker Tom at Lakerholics.net, he likes the 3-0. Great spirit on his part. What do you think as far as this road trip is concerned? Do you see any stumbling blocks? What do you think they're going to do overall this weekend?
Well, I think so. They've got their first game up against Dallas, and you got San Antonio, and they end in Chicago. I definitely see 2 out of those 3 as for sure wins. With the only caveat coming with Dallas has got some firepower. Luka is playing out of his mind. Kristaps Porzingis is Kristaps Porzingis. So these boys know how to play, and they're playing pretty well together thus far. So you hate to count out San Antonio as well, but just San Antonio is just not what they used to be. They don't have the talent right now. They don't have the firepower. They've got a great head coach in Popovich, but the truth is players are playing and they're just not right there anymore. And they've had such a long run for such a long time. They're allowed a little bit of a lull, and not a 6-7 year playoff missing team right now. So I think that if I had to make a pick, I'd say we're 2-1 as well. But I could easily see us going 3. I can easily see us going 3-0 in this run.
All depends. I said the slip up will come in San Antonio. I just think it does. San Antonio, Pop has some like mystified, I think, when it comes to purple and gold. But that's just my feeling on that. I think if that's the case and they go 3-0, I really think people need to take notice as of that point. And just there was the issue against the Clippers. It may not be a great matchup for them now, but if they go ahead and they come out of the trip 3-0, then really people need to take notice of them as really a powerhouse in the NBA. And we could be off to a really great start if that's the case. And they come back to LA a week from Friday and are sporting a gaudy 5-2, 6-1 record. That could really be something special for the Lakers. So something good to look about, something good to talk about when it comes to the Lakers. So far, crystal clear. Just letting you know. You're back on. Yes.
Amen.
Last thing before we head on out, my friend, and that is that I'm gonna think of some type of game show music as we're talking about this right now. So I'll have some type of game show music coming out of the background. Hopefully it's public domain. I can find it somewhere. But anyways, we're gonna call it Pretender or Contender. So we've got some already teams that are standing out. We've got some teams that are already standing out right now in the NBA. Some of them are very surprising. Some of them are not. So I'm going to ask you about some teams in both the Eastern and Western Conference and your quick thoughts on whether or not they're a pretender or a contender. The first one all right, let's do it indeed. The first one I'm going to talk about at the time of we're recording is the Phoenix Suns. And remember, before you say anything on them, the Phoenix Suns are 2 points away, literally 2 points away from being 4-0. And the 2 losses by 1 point each are against Denver and Utah, teams that I picked to go 1-2 in the West.
Okay, all right. I gotta say, I just don't see them sustaining this. I don't see it. I have to say Pretender. And it's not a knock against anything Devin Booker is doing because he's out of his mind right now. He's out of his mind. I just don't see them having the longevity. I don't see them having the legs to last an entire 82 game season at this level. Right now, they're playing like a team possessed, which is an awesome thing to see because at the beginning of the season, every team has optimism, and it really is a great thing to see. The beginning of basketball and right around playoff time is the best time to watch basketball, as far as I'm concerned, because you got all the optimism, and then come to playoff times, you have the teams that are really diving in, trying to make that last playoff push. That's some really, really good basketball. So, I pretender.
Let's go with now in the Eastern Conference, the Cleveland Cavaliers at 2-2. Amazingly enough, as we speak.
Yeah, nope, they don't have legs either. I love Kevin Love. I actually picked him up in my fantasy team.
As did
Uh,
I. Well,
I,
actually, I drafted him, but I just picked up Tristan Thompson, who's gone insane. Maybe it's
yes,
leaving the Kardashians thing. I don't know. Maybe
I'm.
just his play improved.
It's something about when you get away from a Kardashian. Just go ask Reggie Bush. Go ask who's the Chris Humphreys.
Well,
He
not
actually played.
Lamar Odom. That kind of went down for
Well,
him.
yeah, but the problem is he got with a Kardashian in the first place. You got to stay away from those girls. Kim, don't at me, Kim. Anyways, no, bro, that's a pretender. They've got no legs. It's great to see Kevin Love, but he's another one like Anthony Davis who just can't seem to stay on the court for a long period of time. Tristan Thompson, yes, he's playing out of his mind right now, but he's going to have a bunch of babies to take care of. So you need your paycheck, bro. So you need to play out your mind right now.
Off the top of my head, he's playing like it's a contract season.
That's
That's
what I'm
all I say.
saying. He needs. That's why I said it. He needs that money.
Pretender or contender at 3-1, the Dallas Mavericks.
Contender. I think these guys, especially, I'm hearing rumors that they're looking to pick up Chris Paul. So if you compare Chris Paul with a Luca and a Kristaps, you've got yourself a nice, uh, a nice front, a nice three players that right now most teams are just playing with duos. So you add a third player to that mix now, and Chris Paul. Now, granted, we know Chris Paul is on the wrong side of 30. He's sitting at 34, and he's his 2K rating is going down dramatically. But he's still a serviceable point guard to say the least. So I think that if they can pull off that type of trade as well, that's going to be a team to be reckoned with going forward. So right now, because of the way that they're playing with just Kristaps and Luca, I've got to give them some contender status, man. They're playing like they want something.
Pretender or contender? Let's go with the Miami Heat at 3-1.
Pretender. Look, I've got no love lost for the Miami Heat. I was never a Pat Riley fan, except when he was with the purple and gold. Anytime he went away from purple and gold, I just didn't like him. He's just too arrogant for me. But when he was purple and gold, I was okay with that. So I might be a little biased, and I do like Jimmy Butler. I do like Jimmy. But no, again, you don't have the legs. When you get into the playoff pictures, who's gonna match up against Milwaukee? Nobody on that team's going to match up against Milwaukee. Nobody on that team's going to match up against Toronto. Um, I just no pretender.
Last one for you. They're 3-1 as well because they just lost tonight. The Minnesota Timberwolves.
Contender. I think those guys can actually make some noise going into this playoff hunt. I, Now, are we talking like super contender, like getting out the Western Conference? I don't know about all that. But as far as actual playoff contention, yeah, these guys are going to make the playoffs. They're going to make some noise in the playoffs. I definitely see, especially, Karl Anthony Towns. He got a little chip on his shoulder now. He got into that little scrap with Joel Embiid a couple hours ago, man. I'm interested to see how he responds to that. I'm interested to see what the sanctions are coming down from that because obviously that bench cleared out and Joel Embiid was in there, and Karl Anthony Towns was in there, and Ben Simmons was in there, which I'm upset about because he's on my fantasy team. But uh, I can see those guys actually making some noise in the playoffs, man. I really can. I'm excited for Minnesota. Um, I'm excited for that franchise. Uh, I can see them making some. I can see them making some real noise.
And I know what you're going to say on this one. Pretender contender, the Los Angeles Lakers.
These guys are championship all the way. What you talking about, man? It's not even close. We ain't got to have that conversation, bro.
Right now, they have the highest point differential in the league at 11.8. So right there, that tells you they're off to a great start. 3-1, heading on to a 3-game road trip. It's just been awesome to see that. And I want to just go ahead and thank you. We've been through a little bit of a couple of rough spots right here doing the show because of the internet and all that. But thank you for sticking with me, TJ, on this episode. I want to ask you, you guys celebrated your 2-year anniversary at Voice from the Underground, as Jason Dutch has, he did remind me on more than one occasion on our last taping together for Inside Sports Fantasy Football. Mm-hmm. But what's going on with everything going on with your part of it with the Voice from the Underground, and what's meant to you over the past 2 years?
Goodness gracious. Yeah, you're gonna have me get all emotional on my soapbox. I was supposed to say the soapbox for Voice from the Underground, man.
And for Jason.
For Jason. What's funny is that I had audio problems getting onto that show as well. So I wasn't part of that show, unfortunately. But what I can say is that for these last 2 years, I don't think any of us were really expecting where we were or where we are currently. And that's not to say that we've made it by any stretch of the imagination. We're still trying to get up to pop culture cosmos status. But what I can say is that when we started this out, we were frustrated. We felt like the country was, going the hell in a handbag, if you would. Just the direction of the country, the leadership, obviously electing the president that we elected. We wanted to make some sense from all the things that were going on. And so that's how we got the idea of coming up with Voice of the Underground. I was fresh out of media school, so he had seen me do my radio show and thought it'd be a great fit, and it has been. But we started off as this political, sociological, socioeconomically driven talk platform because we wanted to affect positive change. And a lot of times people just need to be able to be open to a conversation. Fast forward a little bit and, we kind of evolve and we kind of start incorporating more pop culture, start incorporating more sports, more funny, more laughs, more cigars, more things of that nature. And we kind of became this hybrid of entertainment, of soapbox talking. And the bottom line is it's been therapeutic. It's been therapeutic to be able to be on these airwaves and you have great guests like yourself come on and
right, sure, yeah.
and the jock and nerd guys and just everybody that's been a part of that ride with us at Voice from the Underground, the podcast. It's just been awesome to make those connections because you realize that while it's not competition, like it's competition because we all want to be, we all want to be really good at what we do, but it's not competition because if I can help you, I will. If you can help us, you will. Does that make sense? Like it's the weirdest dynamic to have. Like,
well, when you're talking about podcasts and shows that are not, streamed 1 million times, that are not streamed several 100,000 times, they're not streamed even 50 to 100,000 times. When you've got these independent podcasts that are fighting for listeners like we are each and every day, it's so much easier when you work with each other instead of against each other. And hopefully from that, we can work together to build a larger audience. And hopefully we can all get to that status of the Mark Marone, the Joe Rogans, anything of that nature. So that's something I hopefully look forward to. We have a comment from a listener from Logan McKay. Geez, a quid old yen. I'm not getting that, Logan, but maybe talking about me. I'm old. I know that, but all right. But thanks for the comment, Logan McKay. I truly appreciate it. I don't know what's going on with that, but again, just for us, it's
Pig Latin.
It must be. It must be. I don't know what that means. But anyways, like I said, it is our show. We're just happy to have any listeners we can get. We just cannot thank everyone enough for taking the time to listen to Voice from the Underground, the Pop Culture Cosmos, Inside Sports Fantasy Football. And next week, I will get you on for fantasy football stuff. Definitely going to do that. And then also us right here at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Scottish, he's saying. Logan McKay is saying it's Scottish. It's Scottish. So hopefully it's something nice, I'm hoping.
I'm about to say, how about we get into English? That might
Yeah.
help us a little bit.
Yeah, hopefully it's something nice. We're trying to be nice, so hopefully it's nice. This is the Lakers Fast Break podcast, so hopefully it's something that relates to the Lakers as well. And
Right.
if not, but we just appreciate the comment as long as hopefully it's nice. So, but anyways, we do thank you for the comments and do actually thank you for watching. So that's first off. So, but I will tell you right now, my friend, it's just a great time to be a Lakers fan. We're talking about as far as going ahead and seeing how it's matriculating over the course of the next few games. We'll see now. This is their first big road test. I'm not talking about Square Go Baldy.
Is he referring to my lack of hair? What is he?
Square Go Baldy.
Is he calling me bald? You calling me bald there, buddy?
Could be calling me bald because I'm going gray. That's my next stop after.
Yeah, I mean, you at least you had a stop before that. Mine's went from black to bald, so it's okay.
Yeah, well, come on, it's not. He said, "Fight me, Baldy."
Fight me, Baldy.
It almost sounds like this is Jason Dutch coming on the show or something like that. So, before the show really goes off the rails, but thank you for watching, Logan. Nonetheless, you seem to be entertained by us talking about the Lakers here. The Lakers are going on this 3-game road trip. Let's hope for good things when it comes to that, because this is outside of being at the Staples Center against a herd you support Celtic. The Boston Celtics? I don't know. I don't look again. You're throwing me off here with all the stuff again, but it will sound great in post. And how about all this? That's all I can say. But again, before we head on out, I just want to say thanks for everybody that's watching. I do want to tell everybody out there that is listening the ways to get a hold of us. If you have a question for TJ Johnson, and it's either at VFU Pod on Twitter, or for us, it's at Pop Culture Cosmo or at Lakers Fast Break on Twitter. And of course, you can also catch our show now because we just added a lot more outlets. Not only do you have Spotify, not only do you have Anchor, not only do you have Stitcher, but you can also find us now on Breaker, Google Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, and also the great app that I use, which is Bullhorn. If you get a chance, check out Bullhorn. It's an awesome app. And I'll tell you what, it's just so great to use each and every time for all my podcasts. And now he's going, the Glasgow Celtic. I don't know what you're saying, my friend. Maybe you're looking for like a Scottish show somewhere in the universe out there. But this is the Lakers Fast Break podcast. We just cannot thank you enough for watching, though, Logan McKay. Thanks for being a part of it in your own unique and inimitable fashion. But any last thoughts, TJ, on the way out? Oh, and also as well, LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com if you have any questions. And if we will be on Apple Podcasts very soon. And if you're on Apple Podcasts and you listen to us, please give us that 5-star review. Helps us get up the food chain. The more 5-star reviews we have, the better off our show gets, the larger audience that we get to. So please help us out on that. Just cannot thank you enough for supporting us. Any last thoughts on the way out?
I'd love to know what you're seeing. That's my last thoughts.
The last comment he leaves is 45 subs, day in brand deals, my man.
All right.
Well, 45 subs it is. I appreciate any subs that you can give us. Subscribe to us on YouTube as well. We're also going to be opening up a Lakers Fast Break specific YouTube channel as well. So you see how I'm trying to matriculate that into a commercial type thing for that. So before you really go zonk out on me, my friend TJ, do you have any last thoughts on the way out?
Hey man, I love LA, bro. That's all I got.
But I hopefully you are a Lakers fan out there, Logan McKay. But I cannot thank 46 now. I'll tell you what. Well, I appreciate you as far as being a sub for the Pop Culture Cosmos channel. Hopefully you'll be able to watch more stuff like this in the future. Our pop culture stuff, our inside sports fantasy football stuff, all the interviews we do on this channel. We cannot thank you enough for being part of it, Logan. So at least we do truly appreciate you taking the time to doing it, watching us here. Hopefully we've entertained you, and hopefully we've entertained everyone out there. We are on our way to 55. Yes, we are on our way to 55 subs indeed, but it is the Lakers Fast Break podcast. TJ, I just cannot thank you enough for being a part of it for one different podcast, I will say. It's one of my most different, I shall say, for one reason or another. But I cannot thank you enough for being part of it. Logan, thanks for watching so much. We cannot thank you enough for being part of it as well. And everybody out there, catch us next week for more great episodes right here on the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Oh, he says Baldy is the man. So you're the man. You're the man, TJ. You're the man.
I'd say no credit. Give all the glory to God, bro.
There you go. There you go. Hey, like I said, it's been great having you watching, Logan. Thanks so much. And again, thanks for being part of the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.